Welcome back, folks. This is what Cut2G Pro looks like when you open it up. You can put in the length, width, height of the material. You just want to make sure the Z height's correct, you're in inches, and then we're in the bottom left-hand corner. Now, you can import your vector, so you just find it on your desktop, and let's see if we can get it in here. There we go. Cool. Now, it's in. Now, I just selected one thing. We don't actually want that. We're going to have to select everything, so let's undo. Select everything, Command A or Control A, bring it over. I'm going to loosely put it in the center here. And I'm working kind of quick, so just bear with me. It doesn't really matter where it is. It will snap to a point coordinate, but you can see all of these shapes are separate. What I want to do right now is just select them, and then I'm going to join them together. So the join tool's over here somewhere. Let's see. And there we go. Is that it? Is that right? I think I may need to select them like 2 at a time. This may not be working. I should check, but Yeah, so I got to select them each individually. So select them 2 at a time. I'm just going to run through and do that right now. Okay, so looks like we got our parts joined together. That's great. Now we can go into the Layers tab, and just to keep everything separate and organized, I'm going to make a few layers. One outer cut, one for our first pocket to a one certain depth. I guess it's good to put in how deep it's going to go too. And then, oh, that didn't help me. And now one more layer, just so that we have our 2 pockets. So once we get these in, we can delete the other layers in a minute. I'm just going to change the color because it also changed the line color. Again, just really nice to keep things organized. Now you can right-click on each vector and just move it to layer, move it to its corresponding layer. That's what I'm doing right now. And once we have that, let's just delete these other layers. Let's just clean up this file. Probably at this point, very useful for us to hit Control S. So what we're going to do right now, I just open the Toolpaths menu up here, and you can see some information like the height of the material, how tall that cutter is going to be. We can edit our stock material again if we want to. And for the clearance, we may want to change it at some point. The rest of this stuff, pretty decent. So let's hit OK. And down here, we can start generating some toolpaths, either a profile, so inner or outer on the line. We can do also like a pocket, and that's what we're going to work with right now. We're going to start on this first pocket right here. Now, depth, we can just enter in what we want. And we're going to have to change this cutter to an end mill. We're not using any sort of V-carve bit. We just want to make sure you can keep all that feed speed stuff stock. So hopefully we've got everything kind of set up. It's telling us it's an end mill. It's telling us how many passes it's going to take. Right now it's just 2 passes. And then you can change the direction of the cut. So does it start inside? Does it start outside? And then go inward or outward. And then biggest thing we have to do right here is select the vector that we want. So we have to unselect the other vectors that we have on here and choose the layer that we want for this pocket operation. And it'll have one vector on it, so you can see it in the top left up there. Yep, there you go. So now we can calculate it. It's good to go. We can preview it here, see what it would look like on our piece of stock. Yeah, that's what it looks like cut out. Just a quick 3D preview of that operation. Cool. So let's go ahead and make our second pocket operation, the deeper one, the one that's going down even farther. The depth, we want it to go down so that there's roughly like maybe 1/8 of an inch of material remaining. So we can just do the quick math on that, 0.76, get us down to 0.125. Same thing, check the tool. Now we want to actually choose our path, and we want it to be that deeper pocket there. And we got our vector selected. Now we can calculate it, and now we can see what it looks like when we dive down to that lower layer. And one thing I forgot to think about here is we could have set the start of our cutting height a little bit lower because we have that pocket happening already. So let's start our profile now. I'm going to set it to cut all the way through our material. Definitely the wrong bit here. We'll come back to that later, but we want to go through all the way, that 0.76 dimension. We want it to be on the outside, right? So we get those nice square corners. And then we do want to add tabs. So length, for this, let's make them big. I generally like erroring on a bigger tab. I don't mind sanding it away. So 1/4 inch length and also 1/4 inch height, because who knows, this is poplar, but stuff, especially plywood, can splinter and break, and it's just nice to have a protected tab. Now, we can manually place these tabs. I'm just going to put one on each corner. Let's actually make sure we have the right vector first. So, all right, now we got the right vector. Can I add a tab? Yes, there we go. So one on each corner, or edge, excuse me. That should hold it solidly in place. This is probably overkill. We might only need 2, but I don't mind, again, doing a little extra work to sand off the edges. You can do a 3D. We're not going to do 3D. Again, there you go. And you can see the little lips where the tabs are. You can see where the lines stop. And that's what it looks like. But we're not going all the way through. So, yeah, I think I forgot to check the right cutter. Depth's right? Yeah. It's the cutter. But I forgot to just actually change the cutter. So, that's what a V-carve would look like. Yes, yeah, edit the tool. We don't want a V-carve, so let's select a different tool. Let's do our 1/4 inch end mill. That looks good. We applied it. Let's hit the good old calculate. Is that right? Yes. Let's go a little shorter because we don't want to cut all the way into the table. And then reset, and boom. Okay, we're good. So that's cutting through. That looks good. Now I got our toolpaths. I could rename them. We do want to keep them in the order that we want them to run. Let's just make sure it all looks good. Oops, I just need to do all of them. And reset, and see it's doing pocket first, second pocket. Now it's doing our profile. Well, that looks great. Again, I could edit it so that our second pocket is a little bit shorter, but we're going to save this. We're going to save it as a tap file. We have all of our profiles in there. Tap file in inches, and save toolpaths. So let's just name it shadow box maybe. We're probably going to have to come back to this and edit it, so we might have to do like shadow box 1, version 2, version 3. I don't like saying final because nothing's final. And let's just do a final save on this just to make sure, like, in case something happens, we have this file to edit in the future. All right, so let's hop on over into WinCNC and actually start to talk about cutting this thing. See you there.